Hello everyone, welcome to this video. We're going to be doing sort of an unscripted event research. I'm just going to log in to Flare and try to find some potential good events to buy. I'm going to look at just the Flare event score, going to look at the popularity score, going to look at like some historical data, the amount of tickets available, run through all the different tools from the Chrome extension, alerts, and just see if I can find any events that are potentially worth going after or buying. So this is a completely unscripted video. So just, follow along and kind of see the way that we, go about finding events. So just quickly jumped over to Flare. If I jump into the events tab here, I'm going to look at pre-sale today, and then I'll take a look at on sale today. Normally I open this up to about 100 events. Now I'm gonna generally just go ahead and filter by the popularity score. And this is directly from Spotify. So go ahead and take a look at it. So we have Migo Fest, Riley Green. This tour looks like it's pretty popular. And again, this comes directly from Spotify. So we'll open up a couple of these and see, where the top cities for these artists might be. Also check this one. So this is some sort of festival. So let's go ahead and open up the top ones here, and we'll let those load before we look at them. Cody Johnson, Rod Stewart. Again, Rod Stewart, 6,000 venue capacity. We got a 15 Flare score. So this is kind of looking at, how popular the event might be based on the venue and the location. Then we got Sabaton. This one is pretty small. Like these are like 4,000, 1,300. This one's 1,500. Probably go ahead and open this one up. And then we'll do the smaller venue for North Dakota. Don't usually buy there, but we'll go ahead and open up some of these. Try Charlotte. So I'm just kind of getting an idea of like what's available. Mariah, the Scientist. I have no idea who that is. So let's look at some of these artists. We got Justin Moore, amount of listeners, popularity. Look at the monthly YouTube viewers, and his top cities. Looks like California is sort of where he's most popular, even though it seems like a country artist. I guess those are a lot smaller venues. So that's probably why. So we have higher score because the venue is significantly smaller. Keep going. We got Riley Green, a little bit bigger, and then top events are going to be these sort of smaller events. There's a Hondo Rodeo Fest in Phoenix, but that's a huge event. Keep going on. We got Zach John King. Again, all of these artists I'm really not familiar with. I'm just trying to look at the different numbers and see maybe something that I want to hop on. So again, St. Louis. Go ahead and open this one up. This artist doesn't really have much data outside of, looks like Mexico. Mexico City is their biggest one. And again, same thing. So going into this event, where would this Winnipeg, MB? I'm not sure what that is. So we'll go ahead and put in the pre-sale code. So it's just available right here with the ticket flipping icon. Go ahead and unlock this, and just look at how this event's doing so far. So go ahead and do a quick little zoom, contrast. Mode, make those a little bit easier to see. So the floors are 90. Let's see here. Just went on sale. It's April 2026, quite a ways out. And there's 1,100 tickets left, $35 minimum buy-in. Looks like it's selling, but nothing spectacular so far. Go to the next one. Let's see if this is any better. So we'll go ahead and zoom in here. Okay, let's see. Not bad. August 2026, and it's sold. Like it's got 3,000 out of the 9,000 left. Let's see if there's any on the secondary. So it looks like there's 3,000 here. 304 days till the event. That's really far away. The minimum get-in price is $35, and then the minimum price on StubHub on Vivid right now is $66. But there are 1,600 tickets listed. So if we jump here, I can see how many tickets do we have listed to Vivid. So available and sold. What I'm going to do here is just toggle the sold data, and it's going to automatically favorite this event. It's going to begin to track, if any sales happen for this event. But yeah, there's 1,700 on here. The pit. Let's see what the pit tickets are going for. I guess I'm not sure if that's floor. Let's see if there's pit. Yeah, so I guess those are the floor tickets and GA. So it's saying there's some floors at 119. Not really sure if those are. Oh, this is the floor. Never mind. So this is the floor. So the pit section is separate. Okay. Well, yeah, those are a little pricey. Some aisle seats. I mean, these are honestly not, terrible aisle seats right here. Personally, those might not be bad for this far out. Even after the fees, you're looking at, $140 a piece. So those aren't the worst, options here. At least they're not platinum seats. And you don't really want to buy any of these VIP experience things. I don't know how familiar you guys are, but again, something that I would probably just avoid. But again, the pre-sale already happened for this, so a lot of the stuff like these front rows probably sold out. 139 here. Again, not terrible. Go ahead and go on to the next event here. Yeah, so a lot of these probably sold at 139 before, but honestly, there's still a good bit of aisle seats here. I'm surprised there's still, like these. Honestly, are pretty solid. And this one is, 118. So it looks like there's probably cheaper middles. These green ones in the middle here. So that's probably what's sold out. A lot of these 118s. So right now you have these kind of light blue ones. Pretty solid. Again, I can just go ahead and favorite this event. Maybe go ahead and set, a drop alert if they add some tickets for this. It's going to just let me know if they add any face value stuff. So easy to add a drop alert. What I can also do is I'll probably just go ahead and do a price for the same section. So if anything under 100 for these sections come up, I'm going to include resale as well. Go ahead and add one of those for that as well. And then in the pit, super expensive. Again, probably not worth it. $240. Again, probably not worth it. Maybe for like a bigger artist. The pit at 240, like, if you're doing like Ariana Grande or something like that, 240, but like, do people really want to be in the pits for, some sort of like country cowboy tour? I'm not sure. So again, generally, like I would go for like any country music. The lawns do better. People don't mind kind of just chilling out in the lawns. But this particular event, again, I would just keep an eye on it. I'm not like super sold on it off the bat. Again, another Riley Green event, St. Louis, Missouri. Looks like this sold a good bit more. Let's see, we got 32. Wow, so 32. Tickets remaining. These are all resale stuff. So pretty impressed that that sold so hard. You know, let's filter just for primary here and see what we have left for primary. Yeah, again, we just have resale stuff for the floor. Yeah, so this one, you know, obviously this one did better off the rip. So again, you know, this is something that you'd want to buy beforehand. So you want to buy it during the pre-sale, get in here, and you know, maybe get some good seats before the before the event went crazy. Like everything is sold out. That's not a resale. Like look at these. These are selling for $489. This is a TM and resale enabled event. So again, I'm going to do the same sort of thing. I'm going to go ahead and set, you know, drops for this. High priority, go ahead and add a drop, and I'll also do a price-based one for the same sections, including resale. What happens is sometimes people will just, you know, add, you know, really, I'll go ahead and include these just in case. What are these coming up at? So these are $350 again. Platinums I would just avoid. Resale, really expensive stuff. There's one in here. What is this? This is also platinum at 126, but it's one ticket. So again, generally you want to buy at least 2 seats. You know, I wouldn't be buying, you know, 1 ticket at a time. At least 2. Obviously aisle seats, weekends, you know, the basic stuff that we would, you know, you'd think about. So I'll do a price alert for all these sections. You know, let's say at 120. Just in case, you know, a fan, you know, for whatever reason, hey, I don't want to go anymore. And even if they're like back here, you know, this event is super far out. Oh, actually, this is a lot closer, so that's why it's probably more sold. But you know, 53 days. You know, still I have some time. So if anybody happens to, hey, I don't want to go, they list their tickets for face value. I can kind of, you know, get notified and pick those up. And the way that the alerts are sent to that is they would go into the alert center. So I'll go to triggered alerts, and then I can also view active. So these are the ones that I've, you know, just recently set. You know, the ones I recently just added in here. And then, you know, if anything actually goes off, they would just be available here. So these are like, as of today, this is all the stuff that's going on. So I had drops for the Lumineers, Parker McCollum, Dua Lipa. You know, these probably sold instantly. Dua Lipa added 2 tickets for MSG section 105. Yeah, that's definitely already sold. Let's see what we have here. So this is September. Oh, so this is 2 days away. 2 days away. These are platinums, standard at $353. Pretty expensive stuff. I think they were a lot cheaper like during the pre-sale. Let's check here. Just primary stuff and sort by the price. 214 has $79 tickets. Where's 214 in here? 214, okay, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. These, you know, after the fees, and they're selling for 135. So actually a good amount of resale stuff still available in these like really, I guess, not so desirable sections. With 2 days out, you know, it looks like this got, you know, pretty hard. So there's still inventory, but the prices are pretty high. And I don't think it's actually gonna turn out performing quite as well. You know, maybe some of these will sell. You know, probably some more of these will sell as we get closer. It's really not that many. You know, 223, and there's 994 on Vivid. But what people do a lot is they'll see, you know, what's available here, and they'll probably just list these same ones. So they're going to mirror the events to here. So let's say, okay, here's Dua Lipa. Say it's section 105. You know, these are platinums, and I bet you the section 105. What row is that? This is row 5. And are the row 5s on here? Yeah. So someone has this listed, but they don't even have the tickets yet. This is just row 5. So, you know, most likely, you know, they're listing here, and then they're gonna buy them if it happens to sell at this price. Um, Something you can't really get around. Definitely don't recommend that. You can get your account, banned, and obviously, if someone buys these seats and then also buys these, like that would completely screw whoever has that listing because now they can't fill it, so they have to find some way to get other tickets. So just that's kind of one of the things that people do is they'll have like fake listings on the secondary where they don't actually even have the inventory yet. But yeah, spec listings or mirror listings, that's what that's called. Moving on further from that, let's see if I have anything else, potentially. So this is, again, another Riley Green event. This is the one in Charlotte. Let's see what this one looks like. So this one is, pretty, more out, further out. So what is that, May 7th? Not sure why the time to the event's not loaded, but anyways, May 7th is still pretty far out. Again, sold pretty well. I'm not sure if they're going to release more at the on sale, but pretty solid. The cheapest are lawns at $31. Again, these are like honestly nice. These $31 lawns. How many do we really have those get-ins? So 57 lawn tickets. I can't. Oh, but there's multiple lawn sections. Let's see. It's just saying this one lawn. So maybe they'll probably release more if this was the pre-sale was recent here. Let me go ahead and check here. Yeah, the on sale is this Friday, so they'll probably release more. But these are all pretty solid events. I mean, this Riley Green event, there's definitely some options there. Let me go ahead and open up this Toronto Sabaton event and see. Again, we have the code there. One thing is you want to close out any Ticketmaster pages you're not using. Yeah, the reason I was saying that is if you have too many Ticketmaster pages kind of open at the same time, you could get a temporary block. So again, I just went ahead and just closed a lot of those. That way I won't, I'm less likely to get that block. Okay, let's see here. So this is again in Toronto. Sold a decent amount, nothing crazy, $55, less than half. So again, all of these events, you can kind of see the stuff that's sold. So the price breaks, wherever the prices were cheapest. The platinums are left over, obviously. So if you don't know, platinum tickets are just Ticketmaster, fluctuating the price. So they'll select a couple seats and the prices will go up and down. There's nothing platinum about them. They're just, the same seats, the same thing. They're just more expensive, essentially. So again, most of the time, you definitely don't want to be buying platinums. Pretty cheaper stuff here, $86. The ones all the way in the back here, probably the cheapest ones. And then the floors are $98. So again, not bad. None of this stuff is bad. It's just pretty far out. So again, if I didn't buy on the pre-sale, maybe I'll pick some up, but nothing's really screaming out to me so far. So I'm not I don't feel like I'm in a rush to really get any of this stuff. This is a pretty small venue. Let's see, open this one up in Texas and Vegas. And these are GA events, so maybe this will be something a little better. Do we have any pre-sale codes for this? Looks like we don't have the pre-sale code for this one. So what you can do is click the pre-sale kind of Twitter icon here and see if there's a if there's like a code here. So let's see. Haven't received a pre-sale code yet. So this is kind of one way to find the code. It's a weird ad. So yeah, sometimes it's a little hard to find these pre-sale codes. Again, it looks like Not really sure if these were unique codes. Verizon Access presale. Looks like a good amount of people are interested in this. Again, I'm not familiar with this artist. Oh, just Verizon members presale. Artist presale is tomorrow. Okay, so that's that makes sense. So we don't have the code for this. Unfortunately, you need a Verizon account to get access to that. But these look pretty good, honestly. Like I would, $45 get-ins. I'm gonna go ahead and save these really quick. I'll probably see if we have. So tomorrow, if we come back in here, let's see if it says. So VIP package presale. This is like the Verizon presale. So it's the artist presale is the 17th, and that's why it's not available. So you got the Live Nation, Ticketmaster presale, Spotify presale is the day after that, MasterCard, and then you have your on sale is probably the 19th as well. So each one of these sales has additional tickets. So like the Verizon presale has like this amount of tickets, and you need a code from Verizon. You got to sign up. So sometimes there's like unique things like that. You'll need a Citi card or Amex card. Generally, it's worth it. If you're a big fan of the artist, sometimes those things are worth it to like have an account. Obviously, I'm not going to get a Verizon account specifically for that. There are people that do that, but I'll probably just go for the artist presale. Again, it looks like there's a good amount of people interested. Just the fact that people are even talking on Twitter, looking for these codes, honestly, a good sign. And again, there's really just not that many seats. The event is far out. Again, what you can do for these events is, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a low alert. It's not one that I've showed you yet, but again, I'll just do the whole venue. So I'll do a low alert for 100 tickets. Well, actually, let's see what they have at that price. So I don't want these, right? I want the $45 ones. So let's just go to, I'll do it at like 130 so that I have 40 tickets at this $45 price point. I don't want resale. Go ahead and add that. And I'll do the same for this one. Let's see how many they have of the cheaper ones. So you see how they have some 16 at 219. That's wishful thinking, and then 140 at this. So I'll probably set my alert for 140 plus this. So like I'll probably set it for like 180. So when it gets below 180, I know that I have like 40 of the cheap get-in tickets. And then high priority, and I'll add that. And then what the low alert does, it lets me know when it gets to just 180 remaining tickets. So like if that comes in, next couple weeks, that's an easy buy since the event is March 31st, 2026. If it doesn't, you just kind of wait on it and decide then. I can also obviously check the secondary. So again, if the get-ins are 45, the minimum price is 84 now. With not that many being resold, small venue, like this has the makings for like a pretty good event. I'll just probably buy. I might buy tomorrow with the artist presale. I might just buy further out, further later in advance. So there's not really a rush for GA stuff, especially with the low alerts. I can obviously manually check like, hey, how many are left? But I'll just get a notification in the triggered alert saying, hey, these are all like drops. But let's see if I have any low alerts. Looks like they're all just drops. So if I go to the next page, maybe I'll have some low alerts. Looks like they're pretty much all drops are much more common because you're getting drops non-stop all the time. So yeah, some low alerts in here. This event, that's when it went off. So let's see what this one looks like. The event is February 21st. This obviously I didn't go in for the low alert right away, so I'm not really sure what that alert was for. I think it was like a resale for the floor. Go by primary. Let me actually check what kind of alert that was. So this was a low alert for the floor. Had 29 tickets for the floor left. What I'm going to go ahead and do, 0 tickets left in all. Wow. Let's go ahead and just open this one up as well. But are there any floor or pit tickets left here? So it looks like, those are all essentially gone, unfortunately. So yeah, all the floor there were, as of October 7th, no, September 7th, which is like 10 days ago, there were 30 here, but now we just have, resale stuff left. So again, I wasn't necessarily on top of that alert, which can happen. Same for this. This is sold out. October 18th sold out again. The best thing to do in this case is just go ahead and do a drop alert. So let's say they add 2 seats. Go ahead and set some drop alerts for this. And again, if they add more stuff, they have a Saturday show. That's the one I was going after. They have a Wednesday and Tuesday show. So let's see. I would assume these Tuesdays shows are possibly also sold out. No, there's still some left here. 259. So yeah, it looks like the Saturday show sold out. Makes sense. 14th, and so that kind of makes you think like, hey, this sold out, but are people going to be paying much of a premium, or can they just go to these 2 other shows? So you always have to keep in mind if they have like shows back to back. This is obviously all the same venue, so you just have to keep in mind like what's happening with these events. But yeah, there's constantly alerts for different stuff happening. I guess I could also just filter by low alert, so that I could have just done that from the beginning. But anyways, these are my low alerts, but you can see the most recent one was September 8th. So like these are not, I don't set nearly as many of these, and the drops are kind of always coming in, whereas a low alert just comes in one time. Yeah, last thing I want to look at, again, and this is kind of later in the afternoon. The pre-sales were this morning. I already did whatever buys I would do that day, for today. But what I can do lastly is I'll check the right. So like I was saying, hop into the event analytics, go to primary top movers. So what that means is primary events. So this like Ticketmaster, Live Nation, AXS. So primary events, not resale. And as you might guess, means the top moving ones. Normally I like the 24-hour percent change as well. So this is a lot of numbers here. Sometimes it can get a little bit confusing, but essentially this is showing me what's sold the most amount of tickets in the past 24 hours. What I'll also do is I'll add the pre-sale and on-sale date, just to see kind of like when these events went on sale. That way I know like how recently these changes happened. So Nate Bargatze, latest inventory is 4,000 remaining tickets, sold 9,000 in the past 24 hours. It sold 25% of the inventory remaining in the past 24 hours. So, it's interesting. If we filter by inventory change here, pretty massive. Let's just go back to this one. So Marquette Golden Eagles volleyball, again, interesting. I guess, yeah, this is, we bought for this, the other day. Again, I'm not the only, buyer on our team. Let's see how much is left here. So 4,000 out of 17,000 initially left. Go ahead and just add that to my favorite as well. And again, anything that I'm interested in, I'll just go ahead and favorite. What that means is like I'll get this graph, and if I open this up, it'll just take me to this particular event. And I can also see all of my primary favorites here. So everything that I've monitored, you can see I have 807 events. I can see how many tickets are left. These are the ones I just recently added, so they say NA for a few minutes, but this is how many tickets are currently left. And then next to it is what happened in the past 24 hours. So I can see any events that I have favorited, they sold a lot in the past 24 hours. From there, I can kind of go in and open these up, if I want to actually go ahead and maybe buy some. So this one, sold a lot in the past 24 hours, sold 1,000 tickets. Not really sure, if they added more inventory and removed more inventory, but it looks like it went to like 2,500 and then it dropped to 1,500. So I'm not sure what's happening here. It was pretty flat for a little bit. So yeah, sometimes Ticketmaster will do weird stuff where they add things, they move things kind of in and out. But let me, get back to the primary top movers. So yeah, this is one of my favorite ways to find, what's happening with the event. So like how much inventory sold as a percentage of the inventory, as a percentage of what was left of the event. So like again, it's letting me know like how much is left out of the initial inventory. And again, the way that this is letting me know is 29% of the event sold. There's 38 left. Great way to find some interesting stuff. I'm going to keep scrolling down here. Yeah, so going down, Crowder event. Big event here, Caluchas. I'm going to go ahead and open up this Lorna Shore, the World of Hans Zimmer. Again, the event is, this is the pre-sale date. When is the actual, the event date's here. I'm not sure why that one doesn't have an event date. Tomorrowland, Old Dominion, sold half of its inventory. Ice Cube, interesting. Pretty big event. Just go ahead and check some of these. $1,800 left. Just get an idea. Let's filter by the price point here. $1,800 left again. October 25th. Again, these are not bad prices here. $67. What are these? 79. Yeah, like if I really was interested, I'd probably just watch this for a little bit longer, and maybe I'd do like, these rows right here. Not like, why would I pay 103 when I can just pay 67? So yeah, just always keep in mind like, what the prices are. And people like aisle seats anyway. So like, this 103, is not nearly, you're more center, but this is very similar or comparable seating. So like this is pretty solid inventory still available. Okay, just keep going here. It's a comedy event. Let's see. 3,000 out of 1,600. 16,000, I mean. Stage. A lot of stuff up in the front. Wow, this is essentially front row here is still available for $257. So again, that is like, say generally not a good look. It looks like this middle is what people bought a lot of. This is $193, and this is $257 as a platinum. So I would say, just by this so far, like this does not look super promising. Again, because there's it looks like there to be like a whole lot of inventory left. I don't even know if they had initially 16,000. So they probably removed, it looks like they removed some inventory here, like almost 2,000 seats just disappeared. Interesting. So yeah, this is a little bit of a confusing event. And it looks like they have just this Wednesday, 8 p.m. I don't know. Yeah. Interesting. And then Lorna Shore, October 23rd, 1,000. It says 2,500. I guess it went back down. It's saying $45 a piece, October 23rd. Again, like I would just set a low alert. So all this stuff, like I'm just trying to pick up inventory as we get closer. So like I would just do, when there's 50 seats, like remind me when there's 50. If this comes in, much earlier than, let's say it comes in October 1st, then I'd buy it if there's 50 seats left. I'm going to check the secondary, obviously, to see like what the get-ins. So the cheapest is 60. I'm getting 2 for 116. There's not much Not much in it right now for GA, especially since there's $60 tickets listed, but those could sell. There's 134 left. You still have more than a month to the event, so it's not bad. And then the Nate Bargatze event. So again, a bunch of different stuff here. Things I didn't go into is like some of the other alerts that we have or previous alerts that I bought. I didn't actually do any buying here because it's just later in the day. Normally do all my buying during the pre-sales, but just to kind of show you, some of the tools and some of the ways that we look at the event recommendations. Obviously, we've been kind of recommending some stuff. So Mariah the Scientist, we recommended. Lady Gaga, kind of a no-brainer. Right now, Ariana Grande, is crazy. This was announced September 8th, and those seats are going, pretty insane. So these are like the big ones that to go for. Sometimes it's harder, but the rest of the events, you can see that we're really kind of using the favorites and the alerts and the tools to sort of find things that I think are going to perform well, and kind of buying them more as the data makes sense, not just like, I guess just jumping or like aping into an event because I don't want to miss out and paying too much for platinum and stuff like that. But yeah, so this was kind of like a rambling video. There was no script or anything. It's just kind of me looking around. Just getting an idea of like some stuff that we want to go after, or I want to go after. Obviously our sports stuff and things that we already know about, like, the big A-tier artists, those are things that you're already going to know about. But this is just sort of, a way that you could potentially use some of the tools. And there's some more filters in the primary top movers and a lot of the stuff we cover, in the training course. But there's a lot of stuff that you can do. Like I can, filter these out in a lot more detail, so I can go based on, hey, I want stuff that has let's say between 100 and 200 tickets left only. I can do that. And then the event date is after, let's say, October 16th. And now I can filter by inventory movement, and I can find interesting stuff that I want to target just based off of this information. So, okay, what has low amount of tickets, still pretty far out. Now I can go ahead and open up some other one of these events and kind of pick some stuff up last minute. Where like, okay, there's 92 tickets left now. There's this one is this one I guess just recently fully sold out. So this will update here pretty soon, and just keep kind of going from here. But anyways, there's a lot of stuff to get into. If you have any questions, just drop them down in the comments below. Also, probably have a link to our free training. And then if you want to actually join the group, we send out event recommendations daily. We have, monthly group calls. You can have access to the chat. You have the AI channel for any repetitive or questions that have been asked previously, winning channel, a bunch of stuff that's kind of available in here. So again, if you have any questions, drop them below. Hopefully you guys found this video useful. Doing a lot of shorts recently, but this is kind of more of a, just kind of bare bones video. Thanks for watching and have a great day.